Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to the first podcast of the American Discovery Tour. The American Discovery Tour is a 14-month-long journey where we are going to adventure across all of the United States, spend a week in every single state, and get to learn about our country through its people. We're super pumped on this podcast. I'm Mark Matthews, one of your guides on the tour.
I'm Donovan Mount.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. So what we're literally doing is we're jumping out, we're spending a week in every state, and we're staying with random people that we meet through all kinds of different platforms and ways to just learn about people and find places to stay across the country. And then we're capturing their stories and trying to learn and grow and become better people through the process. So if you're tuning into this podcast, what you can expect is that every single week we're going to give you a recap of the state that we went through, all of the crazy experiences that we've had. As we're recording this, we've done one full state, and I can tell you the stories are unbelievable. They're kind of crazy. Some of you might be like, whoa, I can't believe that people did this. And you're just going to see us talking about it, reflecting on it, and asking each other questions, and using this as a space to learn about what's happening to us as we transform through this process. And the second thing you'll see is interviews. We'll share interviews from people that we meet across the tour that really inspire us or have a unique story to tell. And we'll share that with you so you can learn from their wisdom and grow right along with us. And just enjoy learning about different people.
Yeah.
So yeah, is there anything else to add to that, Don?
No, I think you hit it. We'll be doing this every week, so we're 1 week in, but this is all about what's happened before the tour.
Yeah. Yeah, in this podcast, we're going to give you an overview of how we came to this tour, what it was like getting ready to make a commitment to 14 months on the road, not having a home to live in, just going out there and really committing ourselves to something that's really scary. And so you might hear some crazy stuff. We are in the middle of a city. We are literally adventuring around the country. So
right now we're in Troy, New York, just outside of Albany, about 20 minutes outside of Albany.
Yeah, we're hanging out at this amazing brewery that allowed us to come in, enjoy some of their awesome IPAs, and record. It's Rare Form Brewing Company. This isn't an official sponsor or post. It's just an awesome place that we visited with cool people. And we're shooting in their back beer garden.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's get started today. Let's talk about, as we built this tour, Donovan, let me ask you, what was probably your biggest reason for why you wanted to do this tour?
Well, I'd say the biggest reason was you initiating it, you wanting to start the tour. But I thought that it would be a really, really cool way to kind of close off a chapter of my life. I just turned 29, going to be 30 by the time we're done with this. I love traveling. I love to go see different cities, and I figured, well, I don't know exactly where in the U.S. I want to live, so by the time we visit 150, 200 plus different towns or cities, hopefully I'll at least have a good idea of someplace I'd like to try out.
Wow, I love that. Yeah, I mean, in our lives, I think that reminds me of how we started in a small town America, like a rural town in Ohio, leveled up to a bigger city, Dayton, Ohio, and then leveled up to a bigger city, Columbus, Ohio. And with each one of those levels up in terms of where we were living, it's just different. You learn there's new things you like about areas.
Yeah, and there's so many things to do and so many interesting places to see in this country, like everything from national parks to cities to little cool small towns. I think it's really, really fun, really exciting.
Dude, I love it. So I'll say for me, my biggest reason for starting the tour was honestly so much tension and pain and polarization that I was experiencing in our country. I just saw that growing up in small town USA. You know, there were a lot of people who kind of lived one type of lifestyle. And then doing a PhD, I do a PhD in social psychology. Doing that degree, those people have very different beliefs and live a different type of lifestyle than the people I grew up with. But the amazing thing about that is that all of those people had really nice values, noble goals. They just really wanted to provide a good life for themselves, their family, and honestly better the world. And I just kept finding myself in this constant pull of tension of like, you know, who are the good people? Who are the bad people? And I was like, I kind of got messed up on that. And I said, well, why don't I go learn about people?
Yeah, I mean, we all have stories and they're all different, so it's probably not at all what you'd expect somebody else to think.
Yeah.
No matter where you're going.
I think that's a really good point. And so that's the goal, is to learn about people. I'm a psychologist, so I think that this is kind of like the experiential component of my PhD. I study people, but I want to actually go out and experience different types of people, so I have a better understanding of all the different ways that people can live their lives and think about their lives and engage with the world around them. So I'm pumped for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
I love it. And so I guess, now, what's your biggest fear? Now that we're on tour, we have no place to just go back home. Every single day is a new adventure. Every single week is a new state. Most days it's a new place to stay with new people. And like, what's your biggest fear right now?
Couple, I would say. One, just not, I would say it's not really, it's a fear, but it doesn't sound like it. Just not having 100% certainty about, about what the next day is going to be like, where I'm gonna be. It's not that I don't like being in a different place or anything like that, but I have no clue what, today's Monday, I have no clue what Wednesday is gonna look like.
Yeah.
Could be sitting in a place like this, doing this a very similar thing, or we could be hiking through a forest, or we could be, well, we have an idea where we're gonna be on Wednesday, but that's the point. The other thing, honestly, somebody robbing us on the way, like everything that we have. I'm carrying my livelihood right now in a backpack, and all it takes is one, and it's like, oh man, now we're shooting everything on our phones. We're rolling around. We have to go buy new things, and I don't know. That'd be the only fears, real fears that I would have.
I hear that. Just today I was walking to a coffee shop for part of the day, and I was like, somebody could totally just come up, jump me, rob me, take everything I have, and
right.
I have nothing. And so that's a huge fear. I like that point. The uncertainty of each day.
What about you? What things are you afraid of?
Yeah, so I'm afraid, my biggest fear is that we'll go through the whole experience and not be able to share it with people as well as I wanted to.
Okay.
I'm afraid of taking this really long journey and missing out on the opportunity to share it with people. That's why I love what we're doing with this podcast. I love what we're doing with
the stories, social media, and things like that.
Yeah, if you're on our social media, you'll see we post a new story of a new person we meet every single day.
American Discovery Tour at Instagram, 80 tours. Hey,
you got a bee
buzzing my ear,
hanging out with us.
Hey, hey bud.
Yeah.
Sorry if I hit the mic there.
Bugs. Yeah. But yeah, that's a huge piece, is that we're capturing stories, but we're not just talking to someone for 5 minutes and writing a story. We're getting to know them. Mm-hmm. And so we're taking a little piece of what we learned about that person, but we're forging authentic connections. And my biggest fear is that we'll get to the end of this and we'll look back and say, oh my gosh, I really wish we would have done insert whatever thing we could have done.
Started prepping 6 months to a year earlier than what we did. That'd be one.
Yeah, that was the craziest thing, is when we started this, we started in February of 2022, mm-hmm. and we made a commitment that we were leaving by the end of August.
Yeah, August.
Yeah.
Originally, when you originally proposed this, it was a 5-year plan. It was we're going to leave, we're going to do it by 2025, 2026, I forget exactly what it was, and then all of a sudden it was oh, well, we do it now.
Yep.
I'm now, no, in 6 months.
Yeah. It was why not now? Because It's like you said, we're ending a chapter in our lives as being young men and going into really our true adulthood. And what better way to do it than to kick it off with learning about a ton of people, building some experiences, and sharing that with as many people as we can. Build a community.
Yeah, and how can we have a true opinion of our country and the people inside of it if we don't even know it? I mean, we've both seen a lot of states. We've gone on a bunch of trips before. We can talk about that actually at some other point. But we've gone on a bunch of trips and seen a lot. But there's like a week, 2 weeks, maybe on the longest ones. We don't really know. Like, I've not even been to every state. I don't know if you haven't been to every state, have you?
No, of course not. Yeah, by the end of this tour,
yeah, maybe not. Like maybe continental is what I meant. But
yeah. By the end of this tour, we will have visited every single state in the entire United States. How many people have that on their bucket list?
Right, and let alone we're going to do it in 14 months.
In 14 months. And we're not just going into the state, we're learning about it. Like, we're really strategically walking in and saying, like, I want to take in as much as I can and learn. We're not on vacation. We're immersing ourselves in education through this.
And there's parts of it that are going to be fun. I mean, I enjoy, like, all the people we've stayed with so far and things like that, but...
Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
What are you going to do if you fall in love?
Nah.
No?
No, I don't know, long distance, if that's the case. I don't know. I kind of, like, I'd say like 6 months ago, kind of like closed myself off to a lot of that because I was like, it's going to be really difficult. I'm going to be on the road for a year, but I mean, if something happens, it happens, and I guess I face that challenge, and hopefully whoever I'm with at that point in time is willing to face it with me.
That was beautiful. Here's my plan.
Okay.
No. So, if I fall in love with someone on this tour, my plan is to tell everybody online that I'm in love with this girl, but we don't have room in the car. And so I'm going to crowdfund for a car so that we can experience our true love. And the car is going to have a separate component for us and you, because I know you like your privacy.
Yes, that'd be better. I was gonna say, when we got like we get an RV, you can just be like tour bus. That's what we should have gotten.
Absolutely.
It's a little hard to park in the city, but
that's the goal. That's the goal. I like that though, because we're open to all possibilities. I think that's a big piece of it. I think, yeah, man. The other questions that pop out to me when I think about this tour is, what do you think other people think of us while we're doing it?
That we're crazy, but I'd say wildly ambitious. I don't know if I think from people that I've talked to, it seems like people like believe in us that we're actually going to be able to make it. I mean, we made it through a state. I mean, so if we can make it through one, why can't we make it through all of them? I mean, as long as like funding doesn't run out or something like that, but we'll figure it out. Yeah. Bootstrap it across, as you've been saying the whole time. But yeah, if I was gonna say, what would I think people think? I mean, from the people that we've talked to, jealous. There's so many people that we've talked to that it's like, that's amazing. I wish I could do that. I wish I could. I think that's probably one thing that people think.
I resonate with that. Every person I've talked to about the tour, they say, I wish I could do that. And they obviously can. I mean, for some reasons, if we had families, it'd be really hard to do something like this.
Yeah, you just do it differently.
Yeah, you do it differently. But I think what I've learned so far, getting ready for the process, is that it's easy to get caught up in the fears around the tour or the what ifs that could hurt us. But the right answer is to stay present, to take it day by day, trust that each day you can, learn about someone, and through that authentic connection, you'll make it to the next day.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. I hope at the end of this whole tour we can say that that's true, at least for us.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll, no matter what happens, I think we'll be stronger, more resilient people, more resourceful people. I mean, we're staying with people across that we've met, whether through past experience or through couch surfing and things like that. So I think I think our level of resourcefulness is going to be top tier.
Yeah, I agree. What state are you most interested in visiting? on this
Alaska.
tour?
I've been saying it. Alaska. If anybody knows anybody who has a helicopter in Alaska, I'd love to like just fly over and have the opportunity to take some photos. It'd be amazing. I'm gonna keep saying that. And I'm gonna just I'm just gonna draw that in like speak it into existence, and hopefully it'll happen sometime.
Yeah, anybody out there, if you're on video, I'm looking at you. If you're listening in podcasts, like I'm sending this directly to you. If you are one of those law of attraction people, like manifest into existence, help us manifest a helicopter for Alaska so we can take amazing photos, and we will give you like, there's photo credit for like the photographer. We will give you manifester credit.
Yes. Yes.
It's like manifested by, and we'll just run the list. Like we'll have a whole, so definitely let us know on social media that you're manifesting that for us. We will genuinely give you credit in some way. I don't know how yet.
I don't know how. But yeah, no, I think just I've seen so many pictures of Alaska. I had a friend that went there not too long ago, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I feel like I've been saying the word beautiful about every state. I mean, every like area that I've been in. But yeah, I think that it's going to be a wild ride. I mean, hopefully it's not too cold. But if it is, yeah, so be it. I'd love to see the Northern Lights. I don't know if they're how active they are in June or July, but we'll see. What about you?
State for me, I'm really trying not to pick one. On this tour, my goal is to walk into every state like I've never heard of it. And as soon as I walk into the state, be like, okay, this is my first time in Pennsylvania. I've never heard of it. What should I know? What should I learn? What should I do? And do that in every state. And then actually, I think my favorite state is our home state of Ohio at the end. Mm-hmm. I want to walk right into Ohio as the 50th state and be like, I know nothing about Ohio. Obviously, I do. But just take that beginner's mind and relearn my home state. See what comes out. See what I appreciate. See what I overlooked or missed. And then just be able to talk about that experience. That excites the heck out of me.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's going to be interesting doing Ohio last. I wonder how many things we're going to forget about from Ohio that we're like, oh man, I forgot about Lions Falls or something like that.
Yeah. If you're watching this video, we're getting
just
attacked by seeds from these trees, but the breeze feels amazing.
Yeah.
So it's really a great time. Yeah, so as we go into this tour, one of the questions that we've talked about a lot, and one of my research questions as a PhD student, is how do you construct a life story in America? It's like, we call that your narrative identity. You know, if you put yourself as a character in a book, or in a movie, or pick your medium, a comic book even, how do you make sense of your life story? And one of the things I'm really interested in learning is the challenges people face in cultivating a life story, making sense of their life. I want to ask you before we start the tour, because I want to ask you at the end.
Okay.
Like, do you feel like you have a life story, and how would you describe that?
I mean, I have a story up to this point, but I think what you're really looking for, like, what's an overarching like theme or thing, like maybe is that similar to what you're asking?
If you had to say, let's end this podcast with this.
Okay.
And a little closing. We'll end this with this last thing, if you're listening. I'm going to say, who is Donovan? And you say Donovan is, and tell me. Okay, so who is Donovan?
Donovan is a creative. Donovan is, I mean, a magician. I've been doing that. I love it, and that's what I want to do. Donovan is caring. Donovan is, hopefully resilient. I think that's one. I think like one of those themes that like it's like, oh, I feel like I'll always be okay. I'll be good. I can make it through things. It might be weird. It might be different. But I think resilient to like resourceful. I feel like that already is in there. this isn't your question, but I am gonna. This is actually no. I mean, your turn, and then I have a small question.
Okay.
After.
But I have a follow-up question.
Oh,
to this.
you have a follow-up question? I wonder if your follow-up question is the same thing as my question.
Is Donovan,
Probably not. Okay, go for it.
and I want to go deep on this question, is Donovan what you would consider American? Not in terms of your nationality, but in terms of the story that you have learned of America. Are you American? And in what ways, or in what ways maybe not? And this is a subjective question. We're not making statements. We're just trying to contemplate that question.
Okay. So, am I American? I would say. I mean, in the blunt words, I would say yes, or at least I hope so. I think of from the story that I would be told of America up to this point. I would say that, and other countries have this too, but like some of the things is like ingenuity, ambition. I mean, we're a very new country. I mean, 200 plus ish years old, but like when countries are thousands of years old, I would say, oh man, am I American? I would say so, or like I said, at least I hope so. I don't even know how to answer that. Hey, bud, what are you doing around here? There you go. He's gone. He's gone.
No, he's on my arm.
No, he's not. He's over here by me.
Okay. B just tried to kiss me.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, your turn.
I can't, okay. I can't wait to ask you that question at the end of this tour.
Okay.
Okay, so the question was, who is Mark? I'm good at creating the questions, but now that you ask me,
don't worry, I think my question for you is going to be a little easier than some of these ones here.
Mark is a faithful and hopeful lover of people. At least at my best.
Okay.
At his best, Mark
I see that. I'd agree with that.
tries his best to understand where people are coming from and how they make sense of their lives, and to add something to their story that promotes goodness for them. That's it for me. That's my life mission. It's like, how do I step into someone's life and be an encouraging voice along their path? For some people, that's like just a friend, just a smile, just a hug, just a I see you. For other people, it's a
Fist bump.
fist bump. Sometimes it's a fist bump. For other people, it's a like, hey, you're on the path of destruction for yourself, man. What's going on? And as a psychologist, that's been one of the hard parts, is realizing that rooting people on and cheering for people is something I love to do, but I also deeply value getting to know someone intimately so that I can have honest conversations with them and truths can emerge so we can grow and change together.
That's Mark?
That's Mark.
Okay. Is Mark American?
So the answer I really have to this question is I don't know. Because I don't know what American means. I don't know if that question makes sense.
Well, up to this point, like in what you would say the American story is. I mean, as somebody like I'm not a big Americana person, so but like what like as for like what America has meant to you up to this point.
What America's meant to me, the story of America that I've experienced, and I feel lucky, by the way, to have experienced America in this way, is that Mark's American because he's open to learning, because he's open to trying something new, because he's open to taking risks in the sake of progress and growth and creating a better world, because he recognizes that there's both the importance of independence to live your own life and have your own autonomy, but to use that towards a collective good, to build a community with that independence. And that's how I feel American, and I fully recognize that I have a story that's colored by my experience. Some of it's really good. Some of it's helped me through a lot of hardship, and I'm lucky for that. And as I've listened to other people talk about it before the tour, I've recognized not everyone has that. So I'm excited to see like how I answer that question at the end, but I do actually feel quite American in a positive way. And I'm curious to see how other people feel about that.
Okay. And then the question that I had, and your answer is probably going to change at least once over the course of this. So you asked who is Mark? You answer who is Mark. Who does Mark want to be when this is over?
I want to be a more well-rounded, culturally educated person on the different trials that people face in our country and the ways that they've dealt with them. I want to be a person who has allowed themselves to really learn and understand as opposed to defend their story of what they think life is or should be. I want to allow all of my prejudices and stereotypes about the world or different areas to fall by the wayside and recognize the uniqueness and the beauty of different communities in our country. That's what I hope this experience will do for me. And I want to be open. I want to let the experience guide me instead of trying to step in with an agenda or an idea of exactly what I'm going to learn. I just want to be a learner. And I hope I'm a better learner at the end of this.
Good.
How about you? Who does Donovan want to be at the end of this?
I would say, it's going to be interesting. I want to be a storyteller. So I know, little different than how we're telling stories, but so like I said, I'm a creative. I like to do photo, learning more about video as we're going through this. But I want to be able to tell and share a story through some form of medium to other people. I mean, I can talk, I can write a script and say it, or I can spin some yarn when it comes to like stories in my past. But I want to be a disseminator of information, but in a creative way. That's one thing. I would like to also be more not creative. Well, yes, creative, but more like well-rounded. I'd like to know more about our country. Like I said before, how can we have an opinion of something, a strong opinion at least, or how can we have an informed opinion about our country unless we know it? So I'd like to be somebody who has an informed opinion.
I love that, man. Okay. I think that's a good way to close off our first podcast. Guys, if you're watching, listening to this podcast, thank you so much for coming to the end of this with us. You're witnessing two guys who are setting out on an epic adventure with a goal to learn, grow, and share that with the world. I want to let you know we're rooting for you. We hope to see you along the tour. We want to meet you. If you see this and you're like, I'm in this state, they wouldn't want to meet me, you're wrong. We want to meet you. Reach out to us. We'd love to meet up with you. We'll even sleep on your floor. We're getting used to that. It's really fun.
Also getting used to the rain.
Yeah, we're taking a nice little rain. And we're taking life as it comes to us and growing. We want to invite you to be a part of that. There's a few things to know. You can expect podcasts coming out weekly, maybe bi-weekly. Finally, guys, you can follow along with this tour on social media at American Discovery Tour. Definitely check it out, have some fun, and engage. The whole point of this is for us to learn. We're going to create some platforms for you to be able to share your story with us too. We want your story. We want to capture as many stories about people in this country as possible, to learn as much as possible. And you can support the tour. There's lots of ways to support the tour. You can check out our website. If you want to buy us lunch or have a place you really believe in, we're bootstrapping this whole thing. So we have a crowdfunding platform, but we're not asking for money if it's a big deal. If the spirit moves you and you feel like you really want to help with this mission, help us out. If not, tune in.
Yeah.
The more people who get excited about just learning about the country and growing in the process, I just want to meet those people.
Yeah, absolutely. like you said, follow us at American Discovery Tour on Instagram and Facebook. Probably have Twitter at some point.
Yeah. We're afraid of Twitter. It's really intense. If you sign up for Twitter, they just attack you with notifications. So
Yeah.
we're focused on Instagram and Facebook.
right now.
But you can see a story per day and learn about it. And we're also going to be offering.
already up there, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories already up there. So go check them out. See which ones you resonate with, and just stay tuned.
Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. Well, we care about you guys. We're glad to meet you, and thank you for being a part of the American Discovery Tour. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.